Hello everyone, welcome back. Another planting session. I have a 72 cell count of dirt here inside the cells. You can see that. I'm hoping that you could see in this position. We are going to be doing some tomatoes. This was the pre-moistened dirt. If you saw the pepper video, it's already been wet. And basically what I'm doing is I am going through some tomatoes that, tomato seeds that I had left from last year and picking out the ones that I absolutely loved. So let's talk about that very quickly. This large red cherry tomato is actually larger than it really says. It was quite enjoyable last year, so I'm hoping there's some left in here. Let's take a look and see. There are a few. So I'm going to be going through some of my favorite tomato seeds that I was not able to get from MI Gardener this year because they were sold out. So yes, I'm going to pick some favorites and I'm going to get ready to plant them with you. So the large red cherry tomato, absolutely. This is a beefsteak tomato. There's not, let's see how many's left in here. There are some in here. I don't know the exact amount. I guess we'll figure it out as we go along. So I enjoyed that one last year. So I'm going to plant this seed. And this is not my MI Gardener delivery. Let's talk about this for a second because I'd like to give my friend Jay a shout out. He asked me what I wanted for Christmas. And he was away for Christmas and I picked MI Gardener seeds. So shout out to Jay for purchasing my seeds from MI Gardener this year. Figured I'd quickly do that. So I'm not into those tomato seeds yet. I'm just going through. I want to use up what's kind of left. I don't want to have a lot of extra seeds left over. I don't want old seeds or anything like that. And I got to get moving on planting my tomatoes. I did just do a video on peppers and tried to show you and walk you through it. I wasn't completely prepared. I didn't have my permanent magic marker. I do this time, but I did a whole 72 cell count of peppers. And if I didn't have a label already written out for that seed from the previous year, I just pulled out a new one and permanent magic markered everything. So that is under the grow lights and on top of a seed mat currently as we speak, which seems to be working. It's running about 78 to 80. I'm just not sure where the probe goes. I currently have it sitting on the seed mat. So if anybody knows if that's right or wrong, please comment down below and let me know. That part's new for me. So I wanted to go through some of my seeds that were left over from last year to make sure I didn't leave any important ones out. This is that yellow pear tomato that I wasn't a huge fan of last year. It didn't produce a lot, so I'm not going to do any more of them. Let me see here. Let's talk. Let's see. Hopefully there's some left. Okay, this is going to be scary. Let me grab my glasses. This tomato and this tomato. We will start off with the Dr. Winchie's yellow tomato. I was turned on to this tomato and seed along with the black crim. You can see that. I grew them last year. They were fantastic. A little scared. Doesn't sound like there's much left in there. I was turned on to these two tomatoes by watching, in case you don't know the name of the channel, it's Roots and Refuge, and it's Jess and Maya. It's Jess and her husband Maya. And just a quick shout out, if you have not ever seen them, which I would think everybody would have, go over and check their channel out. She's a huge fan of this Dr. Winchie's yellow tomato. So she really inspired me to, just by watching her videos, to start things by seed. So she kind of was my inspiration. So she highly recommends this Dr. Winchie's. I grew this last year. I love it. Just not sure if we'll be able to get I usually like with the peppers, I'll do 2 seeds in each one. I may not be doing that with the tomatoes. I'm not really sure yet if I'm going to do 2 in each cell, 2 seeds, or if I'm going to do 1. I have to think about that one. And this is the other one that Jess recommended, which is the black crim. And I grew this last year and it was wonderful. I'm a little scared to look right now because they weren't available on My Gardener. Okay, I have a little bit more than a few of the black crim, so I'm going to plant them. This I'm really afraid of because I don't think there's very many left in here. This is the Dr. Win cheese, and we'll just have to wing it because there's like a selective few in there, and I'm just going to plant whatever's left of that. What else? I have some leftover Rutgers tomatoes I'm going to do. Just not sure how many's in the pack. I'll do it with you guys. Some Roma tomatoes. Hopefully there's more of these in there. And let's talk this land race currant tomato. Do you see that? If you go back into my earlier videos of my gardens last year, on some of the videos I was asking people at the garden center, because it's where I planted this, if anybody knew what this was, because I didn't and I couldn't find the pack at the time. And phenomenal, millions on there, I'm not even kidding. But if I could recommend something, do it closer to where you live, near your door, on your patio, your deck, because there's so many of these that you can just sit, eat, and pick at. They're delicious. Red, it's like candy. Green, they're kind of tart and bitter, but they're tiny, tiny tomatoes, not the way that they look on this package. So I definitely want to do a couple of these, which they're super tiny. There's a few in there, so we're going to plant these today. So yeah, I highly recommend you put this close to somewhere you're going to sit in the summer. You'll get an abundance of these to just pick at and eat. I planted it in the wrong spot, plus forgot what tomato it was last year, and I have a few left of them. And this is from Rebel Gardens. Must have been something that I ordered through Amazon. It's an organic heirloom non-GMO. This is a red cherry, and I think there's only maybe 5 or maybe 6 of this. So I'm going to finish up this pack. And then this one, I ripped the top off. And this is a beefsteak tomato. So whatever is in here, we're going to finish this off as well. I think this is the only tomato that I was able to get from My Gardener, and that's the Rutgers tomato. So I'm going to finish up what's in the seed pack and the Roma tomatoes, which I don't know how many's left in here, but like I said, some of these seeds I couldn't get this year. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. So I am going to start with Roma tomatoes. I just have to decide if I want to do 1 per cell or if I want to do 2 seeds per cell. Either way, no matter how you look at it, if you do it too early, you still have to transplant them. And if I do 2 in here, I can just leave 1 and take away maybe the other one that may not look as good. So I'm trying to decide on that. I think I'm going to do 2 seeds per cell, meaning there's a cell, 1 row. I'm going to do 1 row with 2 tomato seeds of the same kind in that particular row. So let's start off with Roma tomato and let's see how many that we can get here. Oh boy. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to drop a couple. Can't afford to drop any. All right, rough estimate, there might be 10 here. So I'm going to start on this end. Like I said, it was pre-moistened, and I also filled it up with a little bit more dirt. So I'm just going to give the first few rows just a couple little sprays of water. And then I'm going to put my tomato seeds in there. Okay, so that's half. Moisten it. Okay, so this is going to be the Roma tomatoes. I am going to try to put 2 in each. That one ended up being 3, almost fell out, and I will tell you how many I'm going to get. I'm trying to do it so the 2 seeds are not on top of each other. I will bring you in 1 second and show you. See how many I can get on the seed tray. Okay, that's 1 row, and it's leaving maybe 10 left. But it would give me 12 plants of the Roma tomatoes. So this is how I look at it, or try to figure it out in my head. So 12, I could do 6 here and 6 across the street. So yeah, that might be good for the Roma tomatoes. And I will show you how I put them in there as soon as I can get the envelope open and get the seeds back in. I'm basically just trying to use up, and I think I just dropped one. Oh, I got it. Okay. So 12 seeds I just did. Let me bring you in and show you. Right here, I did, hopefully you can see that, I did 1, 1, just not on top of each other. And then we're just gonna lightly press them down. And yeah, let me move you back. See if I can lower this just a little bit so that you can actually see the seed tray without messing this up. Let's see. Might be the best I can do right there. Back is up. There you go. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just lightly push it down. Did just find a little stick. I'm just going to lightly press it down. I may need to put a little bit more soil over it. If there's enough actually in the cell, you don't usually need to top it off with more soil, but we shall see. Little twig. Find little twigs in your miracle grow. You heard me say this before, just pick it out. So I'm just pushing it down and covering it up a little bit. If there's some extra soil, then you don't need to top it off too much. And then I will see if I have a tag for it. Just pushing it down with the top of my finger. And if I find any clumps, just pick it out. I didn't even see the second tomato. So yeah, I pushed them down pretty good. And I don't know if they'll need any more dirt over top of it. Should be good. That is the first row right here. It did push the soil level down, as you can see. So worst case scenario, we can just top it off. Let me get a little extra dirt just to play it safe. I've got a big bag of dirt over near my growing station in my living room. Basically, I'm just going to grab a little handful and just lightly go over that one row. Doesn't need a ton. I just want to make sure that they are fully covered, just like so. Any extra dirt, you can push it over to the next row. So, that looks pretty good to me. That is how I do my tomatoes. Well, that's how I'm doing my tomatoes this year, I should say, because last year I think I germinated all of them in baggies. This year I'm not. I feel like I'm crunched. I'm running behind a little bit. Let me see. Let me look to see if I have a spare tag. Like I said, recycle your tags. Here's a yellow pear, in case I decide to do that one. Probably should have went through this and separated them, but I wasn't thinking that far in advance. It's been a busy, busy day. This is, oops, we got flying sticks. Okay, I just found a red cherry. These are ones for the grounds. I discussed that in a previous video. To save your tags. Tomato, pear, yellow. That's not it. There's another red cherry. Let's see if there's any more in here. If not, I'll just write on another tag. I have a whole stack in here. And I want to be frugal and reuse my tags. So, like here's cucumber, we're not on that. And spinach. So, found 2 red cherry, tomato, pear. What else? Ones that aren't needed right now, that aren't tomato related. I will just put it right back in to the baggie. Found the currant, the little small tomato, found that tag. So we could use that. Like I said, these were all washed and disinfected. Bush beans. I'm only looking for black crim. Need that tag. Dr. Winchie's yellow tomato. Found that. Rutgers tomatoes. Yay. Okay, beets. Some. Come on, I'm just looking for a Roma one. I'll probably find it after I already write on one. There's another Rutgers. Large red cherry. Roma. Get your stick right in that row and put your stick right down. We're just going to lightly spray a few times over the one row of Roma tomatoes, and that one is done. So this is going into the done pile. Okay. Let me see if there's any other ones in here. There's another Roma. Black creme. Roma tomatoes. Well, last year I planted so many things and I'm like, oh, am I planting the right amount this year? Because I really planted in abundance. And the only thing I was thinking is if I should do 2 rows. So let me see, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 12. If I do another row, that'd be 24 Roma tomato plants. But I was thinking 6 here and 6 at the garden supply center. So when you're doing your seeds, you have to try to think of your space and how many do you actually need. And these are my older ones. So I'm just going to do 6 of this Roma. These are some of my new ones. And there's quite a few other types and kinds in here that I want to plant. So 12 Roma, we're done. Okay, let's go on to the next one that's really important to me, which is the Dr. Winchie's yellow. And I'm pretty sure I just found that tag. I did. Okay. Let's see how many. Even if it's enough to give me 12 again, that would be great. And I'm not throwing out my envelopes after they're empty. I'm going to save on to them. There's 2 seeds stuck in the corner. Oh, they're stuck. I'm going to save onto it so that when I do an order next year and I do them earlier, I'm going to keep my favorites so I remember to order them. So let's see if we can get 2 in each cell on this one. See how many we get out of the pack. Trying to be uber careful because I'm very limited on this type of seed. Okay. Let's see, are we going to make it? Cross your fingers. Oh boy. Coming down to the last one. It may leave me 3 seeds. Whew. Sweating over that one. 3 seeds are in here, but I think 2 are stuck in the corner. So that'll leave me 5. Yes, we got a couple. Thanks to Jess turning me on to this whole seed buying thing and this tomato and the black creme. God bless her heart. So I am going to just gently push the seed down. Lightly cover it. And if it needs a little bit more dirt, like I said, I just usually just top it off, but this row might have just a little bit more dirt in it. I'm trying to watch where, because these were a little bit smaller. Very extra smaller, so just giving them a little push down. There's a little tiny twig, and I don't want that in there. And then I'm just covering it up with my finger. There's 1. Let's cover it up, and that's 2. I'm just going to give it a super light dusting on this row. Some of them have a little bit more dirt than others. Because remember, when you use wet soil, I mean, it does sink down. You don't want to compact it, but you want it to have enough so it gets a good root system. So I'm just sprinkling it right over the row. Just like so. In case nobody knows what that noise is, that is sometimes the little twigs and stuff that you find in Miracle-Gro. You can strain it if you want. I don't really find it necessary. If I see that there's a big clump, I just pick it out. Like so. Really want to get these tomatoes going. So I thought, let me turn on the channel. In case you didn't see the pepper video, watch that one. I show you how to do a 72 cell count of peppers. Yeah, I did a video on that. There'll be a lot more videos coming out, especially with it being gardening time. Okay. We got, what I said, 12 of the Dr. Winchies. That's how I say it. So I am thrilled about that. It's tucked down. I gave it a little spray of water out of the water bottle, as you can see. And now let's go for the crims. And hopefully I can get 12 out of that as well. This is the black crim. Hopefully there's 12 in here. I'm just making it, people, a couple, they get stuck in the corner. So I'm going to do the same thing, 1 on each corner. Just going to press it down and then you just cover it up. And I want to just get all the seeds down first. Then I like to go behind myself, press it down, and make sure it's fully covered. Pepper seeds go a little bit more on the top. I am pressing these tomato seeds down a little bit. Hopefully not too far, because I just want them to get a good root system. Okay. Let's see. Tomato seeds are definitely smaller. So I'm definitely wearing my glasses so I can see what I'm doing, because of the factor, you know, the eyes start going with fine print as you get a little bit older, obviously. And these seeds are extremely valuable to me. I don't know of a place around where I live that does like a seed swap or anything like that. And I was so upset and disappointed when I couldn't reorder these seeds from MI Gardener. So I am just gonna press it down, cover it up with some dirt. Just take your finger, give it a little pressing, cover it. And when these germinate, I will be just going to take a little bit of the extra spare dirt that's in the next tray next to me and just go over it a little bit. You can just get some out of the bag. Keep your bag close to you to cover it. You don't want to push them all the way down to the bottom, obviously, of the cell count, but you want them down there a little bit. Give them a good shot. And then this will go into the seed mat, as I stated. So here we go. And that was the black creme tomato. Let me find my marker. It's a really good idea to buy these sticks off of Amazon. You can get a bunch very cheaply. But I did recycle mine and washed them and disinfected them. Sometimes, if it looks like the writing's wearing out, just go back over and just fix it. And then usually, which I didn't do that on the other one, I usually like to put the date on each tag when I insert it. So let me fix this tag and put the date, just to keep things in order so that you kind of know when you planted them. Oh, absent-minded. And I usually put a 12 and circle it right on the stick in case, you know, you get overwhelmed with a lot of seeds. It's kind of good to do it that way. So I just put whatever the number is and the date on my sticks. That's 3 rows done. I will feel relieved when my tomatoes are done. Plant it. I'm just going to wet the next row. And let's see if we can at least get through the seeds that are left over from last year. Because I'll be super excited to start planting in some seed cells. This one needs some more dirt because I robbed some out of there. I'll be excited to be able to get into my new seeds that I already explained that my friend Jay purchased. So this is the next video for this garden series. I didn't even know how to do it like this last year. I had to learn it, And this is just to be helpful. Maybe someone's gardened before but never did it by seed like me. And if I can help one person to be like, we can do this. Now, this year is a little different because I'm almost 1,000% positive that when I did purchase seeds last year, I germinated them first, paper towel baggie method, and then when they germinated, I stuck them in. And I saw that on someone's channel. So, needless to say, I never did them this way before, but I'm nervous, but we'll make it. I think I just feel like anxious about the time, like, oh, where did the time go? We are going to move on to the cherry tomato, which I saw a tag for that. Let me grab that. I saw it somewhere. Well, I have two that say red cherry. So all I have to do is add a large onto it. But let's see if we can get another 12 of the large red cherry. These were fantastic. And let's do another row together. On the pepper video, I didn't do the whole 72 cell count tray with y'all. Oop, that was 2 seeds. I just saw that. Yep, that was 2 seeds. I did half of the 72 cell count on the pepper video. Wasn't trying to like bore you or keep you on forever. A big shout out and thank you to the new subscribers, the subscribers that I do have staying on board. I'm starting to get a little bit of the hang of this YouTube thing. It's a lot of work, but I'm liking it. I like doing videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Fridays don't seem to upload very well for me here. I don't know why that is. So that may change. And then I'm not trying to bombard you guys with a bunch of videos, but I'm thinking my normal 3 days of posting videos, should I post in between there on the days that I don't normally post? And we just got 12 of the large red cherry tomatoes. Should I be posting for the gardening series? You know, I just am not going to try to overwhelm everybody with too many videos. But this, I said we would do it together from beginning to end, and I would bring you along, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So that is the large red cherry. Same thing, just push it down. And then just cover it up. Use your finger. For soap and water, you can always wash your hands. My hands were clean prior to me starting this. Keep everything as clean as possible. So we did get 12 of the large red cherry, thank goodness, because they're amazing. If you haven't had that seed from M.I. Gardner, they are really good. They did very well last year. And then you basically can just go back over and tap it and use your own best judgment if you want to give it another sprinkle of dirt over top of there. So I am on, this is the red cherry. It is technically the large red cherry. Today's date and how many I did. And then I just label it. Let me hold this up so you guys can see. I have 4 rows done. I only have 2 more rows left on this half of a 72 cell count that I will do with you guys. And yeah, and then hopefully you guys get out your tomato seeds. You might even be ahead of me and already have your tomatoes going. I had a little bit of a late start. I was on track with everything, but my daughter just had my very first granddaughter, and she's such a cutie patootie that when my daughter calls me, everything stops. And we talk on video. Oh, God bless her. The baby is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's my first granddaughter. And yeah, I stop everything I'm doing when she calls me on that video, so that I can see that precious little angel. So I feel like I've had my grandson quite a bit. Not that I mind, love him to pieces, but I just feel a little behind schedule. Hopefully I'm not. I'm already thinking, panicking. Oh no, they're not going to get in the ground in time. They're not going to be big enough. Take a deep breath. This is what I tell myself. Everything will be fine. You only have your first little baby granddaughter. In my case, once. She's my eldest daughter. And yeah, so I've been a little busy on that aspect. Okay, I topped it off with a little bit more dirt on the row that I did the large red cherry tomato. That one's done, and I think we only have 2 rows left, so let's see. There are 2 beef steaks in here. Let me see how many seeds are left in this beef steak here. And I'm going to do a row of beefsteak. So, for this one, I'm just going to make a little indent first, because the tomato seeds are tiny. And when you're coming down to the wire on your favorite seeds, oh boy, it's nerve-wracking. So hopefully I get my favorite seeds from last year done and under the grow light. And hopefully you guys see that this is really an easy process. Like I said, just go through your seeds, see what you loved last year, what grew really well, what was beneficial to you and maybe your family, and plant however many that you need. I know a lot of people have a lot of like older seeds and stuff laying around. I'm not really trying to be like that. If I have 5 or something left over, that's a different story. But I have to come up with a different seed storage. I don't know. I need a better way of storing my seeds. So I basically just wanted to go through my favorite tomato seeds from last year and pray to God that I had enough to be able to get a few plants out of them. And so far, folks, I'm getting 12 seeds, 2 in each little cell. So that is a blessing. Some of the seeds seeds that I got this year, some I'm not even familiar with. Why am I not seeing the seeds on this one? Did I skip a hole? Oh no. Did I already put it down? Well, this one on the end, I may have skipped. I don't even see, oh, I see a seed on the table. But if I get multiples that pop up, then I know. But honestly, I didn't even see a seed on there at all in this last little row. So what's worst case scenario? 2 extra pop up? That's okay. I'll just divvy it up and then just take a little handful of dirt after you get your seeds pushed down and just lightly cover them. And you can always, after you tap it down, if you have extra, you can spread it towards this way, like that. just like so, just enough to cover up the seeds. One more row left to go. Got a little extra dirt on that, just moved it over. And now let's tag that one. That one was the beefsteak that I just did. So let me see if I have a tag. If not, you can recycle the other side. Don't forget. I may have one, I just don't see it. So, writing this one out. It's a beefsteak, today's date, and the number 12. And that is that row. Put the little stick in there. One little spray on the top. Which my water bottle's running out. And we are on to the last row, guys. So, beefsteak are done. This is in the done pile. Yeah, I feel like my spray bottle's leaking a little bit. Okay, let's save for the last row. Do we want to do the red cherry, even though I did in my gardeners? We want to do Rutgers. I am going to go with, let's see, 2, 4, 5, 6. I want to use one of the bottoms, or I might do, see, that's the only thing though, if you have something you just need 2 of, you end up with, obviously, like when the 4 left empty on the end. You can always lay a tag like this somewhat, but I'm definitely not going to use the last row for this, which will be my last tomato that I'm going to be planting from last year. I am going with the Rutgers tomato, and as a matter of fact, here is a tag right here that I am recycling, and I am doing today's date, and hopefully I get 12. And I think Jesus was on my side to give me my favorite seeds. Oh, we might be able to do it. These are way tinier. Let's see. There might be just a few stuck in the corner. But here we go. Let's hope we get 12 seeds of the Rutgers tomato. 2 in each one. Make sure I don't forget an end one this time. Oh boy. I think we're gonna make it. We did it. We did it. We got 12 Rutgers tomatoes. That's how I call it. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. If not, correct me down below. And I'm super excited that I got to bring you guys along to, honestly, just sit there and watch me plant the last of my favorite tomato plants from last year. So, what did we do? We did Roma tomatoes, we did Dr. Winchie's, black Krim tomatoes, the large red cherry tomatoes, beefsteak, and the last row we just did together is the Rutgers, which is like a beef, is that what the hell they call it? Let me see. No, the Rutgers is the one that requires very minimal amount of space and effort and produces a big crop. So, yay. Okay, let's push the seed down. We'll cover it up with some dirt. Same process. You don't have to push it all the way down the bottom. Just cover it up. Just make sure you can see them. That one was like a little twig in there. Cover it up. If it needs a little bit more dirt, you just do the same. Be careful when you're pushing it down to make sure it doesn't stick to your finger. Make sure it's in the dirt, because I've had that happen. I'm just covering these up right now. Down to our last one. And we're making progress, ladies and gents. We are planting our tomato seeds and getting them under the grow lights for gardening 2020. Little sprinkle of dirt in each of the holes that I just did, just a little bit. There we go. Give that one a little bit more. And we are good. And then all we're going to do is give it a little good spray. Do not water with a cup on top. Give it a little bit of a spray. You want to water bottom water. This is a tray that has a bottom that has no slits. I will put some warm water in the bottom. Not a lot, just enough to, because this soil was already dampened. Well, it was more than dampened, but, so yeah. We did it, we did it. I only have, which I'm not going to drag you guys along, I only have the Race Currant tomato left out of my seeds from last year. And a red cherry that has 5 in there, and a beefsteak tomato that literally has a few. I still have the other half to do on the tomatoes, but this was just planting tomato seeds together with my friends here on YouTube, my lovely subscribers. But these are the seeds from last year that were my favorite. I wanted to get them planted first. Hope that I had enough in the amount that I needed, which was 12. And like I said, God was on my side because I had enough to do the major seeds that I wanted done. So let me hold this up so you guys can see. I will turn it around so you can see without dropping it. This is the half of a 72 cell count. This is not touched yet, so I'm going to plant more tomatoes, but these are all the tomatoes that I loved last year we did on this video. And that's how you plant tomato seeds. That also showed you. You can do 1 in each cell count if you want. The choice is yours. I just opted to do 2 in each because I don't have any more 72. I just have separate cups. I actually could use 2 more of these types of trays. So I'm trying to space it out and plan exactly what I need. So yeah, I just have the other half to do. And like I said, I just wanted to hop on, tell you what my favorite seeds were. This is the one that I was not a huge fan of. I didn't even plant one of these seeds. But we did the Roman tomato, we did the Rutgers tomatoes, beef, the large red cherry, black crim, and Dr. Winchie's. Again, if you haven't checked out Roots and Refuge, Jess, she was my inspiration. She is, I think, pretty much the reason. Well, I don't want to say the reason, but she is the person that gave me the encouragement to try to plant by seed, especially if you're on a budget. It is a lot cheaper to purchase seeds than to buy all the plants, and that's a fact. So being on a budget and doing it on seed worked out great for me last year, and yeah. So this video is the next video in the series, which is to pick out your favorite tomato seeds from last year. Get out your tray, see how many seeds you have left. I hope you have as many as you would like for the season. And yeah, get them planted. It's exactly what we just did. We planted, how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 rows, 12 in each row of my favorite tomatoes from last gardening season. Did it. It's done. I'm tickled, and now, like I said, there'll be other videos coming out. I don't know if you guys, maybe I'll bring you along when I go to plant my MI Gardener tomato seeds, which, like I said, I really could use another 72 cell count tray for those seeds. Here they are, and I didn't even touch them yet. So guys and gals, I just got started. I'm going to stand up, get a little bit closer. I just got started doing my seeds from last year, my faves, but I still have all these seeds left to go. So thank you everyone for joining me on this next episode on the gardening series. Yeah, I moved super close. Okay, let me sit on this one. Again, thank you everyone for joining me on this next video on the garden series. I hope you took something away from that. Maybe I just taught you how to plant tomato seeds in a 72 cell count. I don't know. I'm doing 2 seeds per cell count, so that'll give me 12 plants. If you don't have a lot of area, you could do that as well. And then that's it. You're just going to cover it and put your dome on it. This is kind of a flimsier one, but that's okay. And then it has the tray on the bottom to just put water in there, not to water on the top. So you'll just check your water. Don't over water your dirt. Sometimes it's good for it to get a little dry. Just don't let it get too dry. And this bad boy is going to be going under the light. And the next thing on, probably for the next video, will be planting the 2020 tomato seeds for the garden season. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I felt like I was extremely too far away. Now I'm feeling too close. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Love to have you. Hit the like button or smash the like button. And I bless you. And until next time, I will see you probably to plant 2020's tomato seeds. Okay, bye guys.